All right, outside again. Still April, but it's still snowing a little bit. I don't know if you can see that or not, but I did some work on the Monte Carlo the other night. Found out that I can get an AC delete pulley for, it was like $30 on Rock Auto. So did that so we could, I mean, it's a little bit of weight reduction, but just kind of clean up the engine compartment, get rid of some of the hoses and everything. Some of the feedback I got from the forum and a Facebook post I made, people were kind of all over the place about the transmission cooler. Some were like, run it through the radiator, then the cooler. Some were like, just run it through the cooler. Some said use the condenser possibly. Well, when I took the AC out, there was nothing in the AC, so it was leaking somewhere. It could have been from the compressor, but considering this thing hit a deer at least once, it could be the compressor as well. So I'm just gonna take the compressor out and just get a transmission cooler. And I'm also gonna do an oil cooler too, is the plan. So, but I'll flip this around real quick. And so right down there, you can see the back of it. I still have to put the bolts in, but that's where the AC compressor was previously. And then we had the evaporator over here. So it removes some lines. So if, in case something comes up, there's less things to mess with. All right, so today we took the old Monte Carlo to an autocross event in our region. So it fell in E-Prepared is where we ran it, and it's definitely too slow to be competitive in that class, but we had fun. Had a friend of mine, Robbie, that drove with me for this. I will say Robbie beat me in my own car, which happens. But anyway, learned a few good things about this, so take you through a couple. So first of all, the brakes on this thing suck. I mean, for autocross it was fine, but we would come out of the end or come in through the finish gate and you just had to stand on the brakes to get it to stop. Not even close to it locking up. So that's an issue that was going to replace the brakes anyway, but definitely something that we'll have to do. There's some clunking in the back of the car. I know this strut over here, I think, has a loose nut on top. And then gotta check the sway bars. I'll post a picture of the car tripoding and getting on 3 wheels. But just about any time that we turned very hard, it was on 3 wheels. Other thing is cooling. So it did get pretty hot in between or during runs, and I think that has to do with the radiator is not flowing very well, which I'm planning on doing a new radiator anyway. The last thing that I kind of learned today is when we would finish a run, the engine was a bit chattery or a bit chatty on top, and so need to come up with something probably for baffles for the oil pan. I highly doubt if they make a baffled oil pan for a 97 Monte Carlo. so may have to make something or have something made to keep the oil in the oil pan during turns, because that could be a problem on track. So anyway, other than that, we had a great time with the car. It wasn't fast, but it was entertaining to watch. So last weekend we took it to Autocrossing, and I think I made some comments about a few things we needed to fix. First of all are the brakes. The brakes are awful. So I'm just gonna put some pads on there for right now. I'm gonna order some race pads that will be custom made for this, because again, who races a 97 Monte Carlo? But there's a place that will make a pad for pretty much any car, so we're gonna do that. But for right now, I'm just gonna replace the pads, maybe have the rotors turned. We'll see how those are, and then I'm gonna bleed the brakes out and put some .4 in there and get some fresh fluid in there. So I just threw on some new brake pads. Figured you guys probably know how to do that if you're doing lemons. And if not, there's like 1,000 videos out there. But just some things like to look for in an old car. So, you know, tie rod ends. Obviously that one's like shot. I just threw pads on there because the brakes were awful. But before our race, I'm gonna do a new hub, tie rod ends, rotor, caliper, probably replace the brake line too. Just to make sure that stuff is all new and ready to go. It doesn't count towards the $500, so might as well get some new stuff on it. So today is a big day in the build for our 24 hours of Lemons Monte Carlo. I'm taking the car over to Kurt, our cage builder, to start working and fabricating our cage. Safety is super important. I would trust myself to like weld in a panel or something minor, but when it comes to a safety thing like that, I've never welded a cage. My skills are not that good, so I'm going to leave it up to somebody and pay somebody to do that, just to make sure I'm safe, my family is safe, that's driving in the car. So it's a pretty big day for us to get it off there. It'll take him several weeks to get that done, because he just does it on the side, but that's absolutely fine. He did a great job last time, and I'm pretty excited to get this next step done. All right, so got the car dropped off at the cage builder. It'll probably be 4 to 6 weeks till he's got it done. He just works on it at night, on the weekends, just when he has time. So, which is absolutely fine. Does a nice job. In the meantime, to continue the build, I need to order my fire suppression system, which last year I got from the Lemons website, and they don't seem to have any on there. So I'll probably have to get one off of Summit Racing or Pegasus, something like that. And then my kill switch came in, so I can put that in when it comes, when the car comes back. I've got to get some foam for the roll cage, and then I can start working on getting some gauges set up and the transmission cooler and some fun things. And then paint will be the fun time. So we are pretty much done until he gets the cage built and installed and I get the car back. And until then, I'm going to keep seeing if I can think of anything else I need to order, so we can make progress as quickly as possible and get things ready. So that is it for now.